Paula in the city. Hi, Paula. What's up?
Hi. Hey, thanks. I think Draymond is obviously in denial of his behavior, and it's just not good sportsmanship, period. And he is messing up the brand. He is embarrassing us as a team and the fans, and he has lost appeal. He is like Dennis Rodman now. And I was one of the first that loved Draymond, but somebody on the Warriors needs to tell him those things, because maybe he won't get it till he knows that the fans are not his fans anymore. I mean, he's messing up. We're not getting points.
But, Paula, don't you think, like, we hear so many, like, why doesn't someone pull him aside and sit him down and tell him? I don't know about you, Paula. My perception is that's happened 1,000 times, and the guy just, he either can't or he won't.
Then why are we keeping him?
Well,
because he wins. He's a winning basketball player.
And because Steph wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
And now you're stuck with him. You know? Thanks, Paula. I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to say stuck with him. I don't think the Warriors,
you're stuck with him.
I know, but I don't think that they look at it that way. As if, like, I mean, do you think the Warriors right now, if you said, could you get out from under the contract? Like, let's go back. Let's go back to last offseason.
If you could just cut him like he's an NFL player.
Or just like, would you do it again? If you could go back before the contract, would you do it again?
I don't think that they would. I think that they'd be a lot closer to, and again, you'd have to go truth serum and really ask him, if you knew then what you've seen now with one suspension, an ejection, and another suspension on the horizon, and a 10-13 record, and a fan base that feels like it's turning against him, would you go back and give him $100 million? I'm not sure about that. And I wonder if you would ask Klay Thompson the same thing, because Klay reportedly was offered a 2-year deal in the offseason worth $48 million, 2 and 24 per year. And now the same report is that offer doesn't exist anymore. So would Klay Thompson have rather had $48 million in a 2-year extension, or be sitting where he is right now on the bench with no contract?
Yeah, I don't think they feel that way. They're always the last to get, bubbled over with frustration with regard to Draymond Green. That's how it's always been. So they're that stubborn about this. I mean, it was last Friday night that Steve Kerr was at a podium going, "We're a championship team." So, I mean, that's what they believe, or at least that's what they tell us they believe.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, and you have to believe it, although now you're sitting at 10-13 and you're a couple of games out of even the play-in game, and it's harder to fancy them as a championship team.
By the way, those same odds that we're talking about Draymond's suspension length, also odds on the Warriors to make the playoffs. If we just put it at a percentage, and by the way, not the play-in tournament, odds that the Warriors are a top 6 seed. Percentage out of 100, what do you think it is?
Probably 35.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Is it 35? Lower? Higher? 50%? Higher? I like when you don't use words. 60%?
Yep.
It's 60%.
60% says Vegas chance that they're still a top 6 seed.
Is it, so what are they, like plus 180 or I'm not asking you to research that, but in terms of percentages, they're a 60% yes.
Correct.
And that also means they could be in the play-in and then they would win a play-in game and be a top 8, I'm sure.
Yeah, the whole thing is I'd have to research it too far. But anyway, yeah, 60%.
Wow.
60%. Which I think would surprise people right now on a day like today, especially.
Yeah, I put it at 35, and if you're 10-13 with this caliber of talent, and you're going to be without Draymond for how long we don't know, and the West is still so tightly packed that you figure they can still make a recovery.
And people will point out that their schedule's been really hard so far, so that means there's a lot of Utahs still ahead, and there's some Portland still ahead.
Careful.
I know.
Careful.
Jordan Poole's coming to town next week. How about that?
When do they get Detroit?
Now you know why Draymond Green went and got suspended, because Jordan's coming back.
You realize Detroit's lost 20 in a row.
Oh, my gosh.
20 in a row.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Between Washington and Detroit, they are 5-40. 5-40. Poole and Wiseman are combined 5-40. Detroit's 2-21. They've lost 20 straight. There was a time that Monty Williams had them at 2-1, Mark. That's a .667 winning percentage.
If he gets a 5-game suspension or longer, he misses Jordan Poole return.
No. Are you sure?
I hadn't thought of that.
That can't be.
That's the 5th game on the schedule right now.
Well, then the league needs to do the right thing.
Next Friday night, 4-gamer. I'm calling it right now.
4-gamer, he comes back and throws an elbow, and then you give him 10 games.
Then for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Then for the rest of the year. Steve in Brentwood. Hi, Steve. What you doing? Steve?
Stevie.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm here.
Don't be that patient and then not be there, man. We don't want that.
Hey, sorry, dude.
That's okay, dude.
Yeah, first-time caller, man. Love you guys' show.
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
I moved out here from Indiana, so I know this whole the controversy with players, the Ron Artest and all that crap. But Draymond, man, so here's my take on that. I think that the league should give the Warriors organization a call and say, look, we're going to hold off for just a couple days. You guys take action. We'll see where you're at, and then we'll go from there if we're going to add more. Put it on the organization to kind of do the discipline one more time.
Hey, Steve, before we answer that, can I ask you a question?
Sure, man.
You ever been told before that you sound like Patrick Mahomes?
No.
No? Gosh, when you just did that, and like your response was even, hey, will you do me a favor and say, man, that was the worst call I've ever seen in my life.
Man, that was the worst call I ever seen in my life.
Dude, this Patrick Mahomes on the phone.
Dude.
Mahomes.
Two-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes on 95.7
And we thought Lucas couldn't book anything. Look at this. We got Patrick Mahomes.
Man, Pat, it's so glad to have you here. Hey, have you met Taylor Swift yet?
No, I'm still looking for the chance.
All right. Well, okay. Sorry.
Mahomes.
I was completely distracted. What's your point about the Warriors?
And just one more thing, man. Because Willard, when you guys played that Draymond clip, at the press conference, and you said that your take was that he didn't. What was it? You said that your take was.
He said he said that's why I haven't been arguing with refs since I came back, and I'm like, dude, you had a technical the second you got back.
The only thing I heard on that press conference was Draymond saying. I mean, that was a roundhouse. I mean, I can't even throw an accurate punch like that. Well, I saw the video when he punched Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Amen.
Pretty accurate that time. Am I right?
Amen, Steve. If that's your real name.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes making his first appearance.
Thank you, Mahomes. Call back anytime.
Yeah.
And good luck this weekend.
We won't see you in the Super Bowl, Pat.
Man, that hurts.
Let's go to Jordan in Fremont.
You wouldn't say that to the real Mahomes.
Yeah, I would.
You wouldn't.
You won't. I'd say it to Jalen Hurts, though. Hey, Jordan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, great show. Love it. You know what? I'm very disappointed in some of the callers, man. Just, hitting Draymond left and right like he's hitting everybody else. But besides the point, we need that fire. Who else is going to do it, I mean, we need that. We need what's going on. Hey, think about it. Out of everything that's going on, Draymond's already been suspended 5 games or whatever. Clay can't hit the side of a barn. We're 10-13. We are far from out of it. There's 59 games left. If he's suspended 10 games, go 5-5, 4-6, we're still in it. Everyone just needs to take a deep breath, suspend the guy as he needs to be, 10 games, whatever. But you know what? We are not out of this. We are in this.
Well, so Jordan,
I'll take those odds on making the playoffs.
Yeah, I love your optimism, but when you say they need that fire, do they need that kind of fire? There's more than one kind of fire, no?
Yeah, there is. I mean, he does stretch it every inch of the mile for sure, but you know what? Who else is going to give it to you, though, Willard, right?
Well, listen, you'd love for it to be Draymond. Jordan, thank you. Here's look, this is the bottom line. It's the bottom line. This is the message the Warriors tried to get across to him earlier this year. It's like, Dre, you can be you all you want. The league is not going to let you play if you play like this. So it's coincidental, a little ironic, if you will. Oh, they need him to play like this. Well, no, he's not going to play at all if he plays like this. So this is now out of Steph's hands. This is out of the Warriors' hands. The league does not want this image. We got to stop thinking about this only through the eyes of the Warriors and Warrior basketball and all the things that we know because we watch every game and the key to unlocking the defense and all the things that Draymond is. The bottom line is this is now bigger than basketball. This is an image problem for the National Basketball Association. They don't care if this helps the Warriors. They're not going to let him play like this. And that's why I expect this to come down shortly and for it to be big.
And I don't think that this is a part of the way Draymond has to play for them to win. This is outside of the way that Draymond has to play. When you're trying to sell a call to a ref and it results in you swiveling around and punching a guy in the face, that's not playing like Draymond needs to play for them to win. So you could still be you, Draymond. You can argue calls. You can get technical fouls. You can play physical. You can do all the things that stop short of you getting a flagrant 2 and you facing a suspension because of your actions.
Make sure that you are always joining us not only on the radio and not only on the app, but on YouTube. YouTube.com/957 The Game. You can watch us live. We love to chat with you during the breaks, and it's been very, very active today. So get on over to YouTube, like and subscribe. All of the 957 The Game content is there all the time. We'll keep going with your phone calls. And again, Jared Greenberg on the sideline for TNT will join us in less than a half hour. Let's go to Mike in the Yoon. What's going on, Mike? What you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
My thing is that I'm trying to look at like the difference from this year and past years, and really the big difference I can see is that Bob Myers is no longer around, and he seemed to be a player whisperer. Whether it was pulling Draymond off to the side, having a little conversation, talk to Clay a little bit. I think these vets are lost not because they have Steve Kerr who can talk to them, but they used to be able to talk to Bob Myers, and he had a way of communicating with the guys and keeping them focused. And I think they're lost because of him, because he's no longer there.
I think there's probably something there. Yeah, Mike, thanks. I mean, we mentioned it earlier that I think we're really, I don't know, coincidental or not, that Bob leaves and this all happens. And I don't know, chicken or the egg. It's, hey, Bob's not there to calm him down. However, I could also argue that maybe that's why this is happening. Like, in other words, not only is Bob not there to calm him down, but without that voice in Draymond's ear, he's much more likely to keep doing it again because Bob's the one who's been able to screw his head back on straight and get him back out there. He's mentioned that before.
Right.
And so now here we are without Bob, or maybe Bob's on the phone with him every night still. I have no idea.
Who knows? But,
you know what I mean? But it looks like that's a voice that they're missing.
Right. And, Mike Dunleavy, who ascended into the role, maybe doesn't have the same relationship. And Steve Kerr, it has seemed that, he's not been too demonstrative, at least in the open, in terms of, trying to contain Draymond's behavior. There's nobody in that organization that is checking Draymond to my eye. And you haven't seen it from Jordan Poole to Rudy Gobert to now with Yusef Nurkic. There's been no internal checks and balances in terms of his behavior. And the league has done it, and it hasn't really worked. And so now you're in a spot where he's going to get suspended, and it likely gets handed down here in the next hour. Last time this happened, we do have a comp 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
The suspension was announced at 5:10. So I would expect that the news will come out here in the next hour or so, and we'll find out what the league is going to decide to do.
And they tend to do that, where they take a full day. As I said earlier, if it's not tonight and it ends up being something that's tomorrow, you might wonder if they're having conversations with the players' union and whatnot, because I think that this could be long and therefore very, very expensive. What'd you say the number was when he missed the 5 games? $800K?
Yeah, roughly.
$800K.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, now if we're going into 7 figures with this one, sure, they're going to dot their I's and cross their T's for sure. James in San Jose here next up on Willard and Dibs. Hi, James. What's up?
Yes, sir. I've been listening to a lot of this. I wasn't a Draymond fan after he started acting out. But I was talking to your screener, and I asked him, had he ever heard the term quiet quitting? You know what that is, right?
Quiet quitting?
Yes.
I mean, I can certainly, I think, deduce what you're talking about. I've never heard a specific definition. Why don't you share?
It's when you're working at a job that you really don't like, but you keep showing up every day. But you really don't want to be there, but you keep showing up every day. Okay. Draymond has sort of screwed the team over. He screwed them in that midseason tournament, by getting disciplined where he couldn't help the team out. I mean, I know some of these guys are pissed off at him. Well, they ain't going to say it.
Yeah, I'm sure some of his – no, they won't say it, and I bet some of them are, and not because of the in-season tournament, because of even bigger issues. But James, let's go to Draymond. Why would Draymond not want to be here?
Because he's talked to the other players, and he knows that his talents – he's got talents. He has skills. I don't know what his deal is. There's something wrong with this guy. Why does he keep screwing the team over?
I don't think he can control himself, James. That's my only answer. I think that's who he is. I don't think he knows any other way to be. I'm not going to call him an addict, but we've watched this behavior on 1,000 different things. For some people, it's alcohol, drugs, sex, anger, coffee. I don't know what. Everybody's got a vice. And for Draymond, it is controlling emotions. And to this point in his life, he has largely, at least on the court, not been able to do it.
Yeah. And it has cost his team before, and he's shown contrition, and he's gotten better, and there's been stretches where he has controlled himself, and then it comes back, and it rears its ugly head, and he's won 4 titles. So what are you going to do? The guy's won 4 titles, and yet in numerous instances, he's been unable to control his behavior. He's been ejected. He's got